a veteran quality assurance lead for Nexus Tech Innovations, a sprawling tech conglomerate. My domain was Tier 3 Customer Resolution, the final bastion of defense against enraged users and catastrophic product failures. I knew our systems, our code, and our customers better than anyone. My team was lean, but sharp, a precision instrument honed over years of patching up corporate blunders. We operated out of a vast, windowless floor. The drone of hundreds of muted calls a constant, soul-crushing hum. My cubicle felt like a bunker, a small island of order in an ocean of digital chaos. Be not me, Chadwick Bronson, VP of Product Development. Chad. He arrived 6 months ago, fresh off a minor acquisition, brimming with Silicon Valley buzzwords and an unshakable belief in his own genius. He had the sharp suits, the manicured stubble, and the relentless, unsettling energy of a man who'd never truly failed. He talked about disruption and synergy and moving fast and breaking things, completely oblivious to the real-world implications of any of it. Chad was the kind of boss who thought a whiteboard full of arrows constituted a strategic plan. The first hint of trouble arrived like a cheap, urgent ping in my Slack. Chad wanted a hotfix, pushed for the new Nexus Link Smart Home Hub prototype. This was weeks before its official launch. A prototype still in closed beta. My team hadn't even finished the regression tests on the previous build, let alone this new one. It's a minor aesthetic tweak, Alex, he chirped during a hurried video call, his face too close to the camera, sweat glistening on his forehead. Just push it live to the beta users. It's a UI update, nothing critical. I pulled up the internal policy document. Chad, section 4.1, paragraph B, I said, my voice flat, holding up my tablet to the camera. All pre-release builds, regardless of perceived scope, require full system regression and a minimum of 72 hours in a simulated live environment before deployment to any user base, even beta. This is for stability and data integrity. He waved his hand dismissively. Bureaucracy, Alex. We're innovators. Just get it done. I'll sign off on the override. He did, a digital signature appearing on the internal release form moments later, bypassing every safety protocol we had. My gut churned. Then came the Nexus Link launch sprint. Chad called a mandatory all-hands meeting at 7 a.m. on a Monday. Coffee and croissants conspicuously absent. He outlined his vision. We're going to revolutionize smart living. This means everyone needs to be all in. Think 80-hour work weeks minimum. No overtime, of course. This is about passion, about culture. We're a family here. The room, usually a low murmur of keyboards and hushed conversations, fell into an uncomfortable silence. My team exchanged weary glances. I sat there, my face an impassive mask, silently opening a new spreadsheet on my personal device, titled Hours Log. A few weeks later, another directive, the Nexus Link prototypes, still unstable, were causing intermittent network outages for beta users. Small issues, but enough to trigger frantic support calls. Chad, in his infinite wisdom, decided that Tier 1 support was too slow and didn't understand the product's nuances. He insisted my Tier 3 customer resolution team, the highly specialized QA experts, should directly handle first-line technical support for these prototype issues. "Just give them your direct lines, Alex," he'd said, leaning back in his expensive chair, a self-satisfied smirk playing on his lips. "Cut out the middleman. Enhance user experience." This was a nightmare. My team specialized in deep diagnostics and bug reproduction, not fielding frantic calls about Wi-Fi dropping because a prototype hub rebooted. More importantly, it meant direct exposure of highly sensitive debugging tools and even internal network access to potentially compromised user devices. "Chad, with all due respect, this is a massive security risk," I stated, keeping my tone even despite the tremor in my chest. "Our protocols prevent direct interaction with beta users outside of controlled environments, precisely to prevent data leaks or unauthorized access. This isn't just about nuance, it's about network security. And our team isn't trained for Tier 1 triage." He simply shrugged. "We'll train them on the fly. Security is relative, Alex. Speed is everything. Get it done. I'll take full responsibility for any risks." Another digital override. Another sinking feeling in my stomach. I made sure to screenshot that email. The breaking point arrived with a cold, corporate efficiency that was almost admirable. I was called into Chad's office, a glass-walled cage overlooking the perpetually gray cityscape. He sat behind a gleaming, empty desk, a single, expensive pen, the only occupant. "Alex," he began without preamble, "we've been reviewing the budget for the Nexus Link launch. Unacceptable overhead. Your team, Tier 3 resolution, it's gone. Effective immediately. Redundancy package emails have already been sent." My jaw tightened. My entire team, the experts, the institutional knowledge gone. Just like that. "Gone," I repeated, my voice barely a whisper. "Chad, that's 5 people. My team is crucial for launch stability, for post-launch bug triage. We prevent widespread outages. Who's going to handle the critical errors when Nexus Link goes live?" He gave me a condescending smile. "You, Alex, you're our star. You'll absorb their responsibilities. Think of it as an opportunity for growth. A leaner, meaner operation." And frankly, his voice hardened slightly. "If anything goes wrong with Nexus Link's launch, it'll be your responsibility to fix it. Your team's inefficiencies are part of the problem we're solving." My blood ran cold. He wasn't just firing my team, he was setting me up to take the fall for his impending disaster. In that moment, a switch flipped inside me. The anger, the frustration, the sheer exhaustion from years of corporate idiocy evaporated, replaced by a chilling clarity. My face became a blank canvas, Understood, Chad, I said, my voice perfectly neutral. I will manage the Tier 3 resolution tasks for Nexus Link's launch. He beamed. Excellent. I knew I could count on you, Alex. Total team player. He had no idea what he had just unleashed. I was no longer an employee trying to save the company from itself. I was an architect of precise, devastating, malicious compliance. My master plan began immediately. I stopped arguing. I stopped pushing back. I just listened, confirmed, and meticulously documented every single one of Chad's impossible demands, every policy override, every reckless instruction. It all went into a secure, encrypted drive. Emails were archived, Slack conversations exported, meeting minutes downloaded, and voice recordings discreetly started on my personal device for every one-on-one with Chad. NexusTech's employee handbook became my Bible, specifically the sections on negligent management, contributing to product failure, and adherence to established security protocols. I cross-referenced Chad's directives with NexusTech's Code of Conduct for Product Launches, which explicitly stated the need for full QA cycles and dedicated post-launch support teams. I highlighted clauses about maintaining adequate staffing levels for critical operations and management responsibility for operational integrity. My hours log spreadsheet grew daily, detailing every minute of my solo 80-hour weeks, every skipped lunch, every late night fixing issues that would have been handled by my now fired team. Each entry was time-stamped and cross-referenced with the task it pertained to. I sent confirmation of directive emails to Chad for every single task he assigned, ensuring he explicitly acknowledged the solo nature of my work and the lack of proper resources, confirming I am to proceed with full regression testing for NexusLink Build 1.23, managing all 17 test environments solo within the 24-hour deadline you provided. Please confirm receipt and understanding of resource constraints. His replies were always terse, always approving, always confirming his full awareness and sanction of the impossible. I even created an entirely separate, secure external backup of all this data, storing it in multiple locations outside the company network, just in case. The clock ticked down to the NexusLink launch. I worked without complaint, without a single word of protest. I was a robot, performing tasks exactly as instructed, at the speed of one human being, not 6. Bugs I couldn't fix alone piled up. Test cases were necessarily skipped. Critical security audits were left incomplete. Each failure was meticulously logged, attributed directly to insufficient resources, as per VP Bronson's directive. Chad, meanwhile, was riding high, giving interviews about NexusTech's unprecedented efficiency and his visionary cost-cutting. He was oblivious, utterly blind to the gaping maw of disaster he was rushing towards. The launch day arrived with all the fanfare of a major corporate event. Bright lights, press releases, Chad on stage, beaming. Within 6 hours, the first reports started trickling in. Then, a flood, the Nexus Link hub, the crown jewel of NexusTech's smart home initiative, was catastrophically flawed. Not just minor bugs, but critical system failures. Bricked devices, locked out smart homes, unpatchable security vulnerabilities, leaving users' networks wide open. People couldn't turn off their lights, open their doors, or even access their home security systems. Panic erupted. The call center descended into pandemonium. Tier 1 was overwhelmed. Tier 2 was useless. My phone, Chad's direct line to disaster, rang relentlessly. He burst into my cubicle, face ashen, tie askew. "Alex, what the hell is happening? My phone is blowing up. Fix this. This is your department, your responsibility." He jabbed a furious finger at my screen. "You need to patch this now." Immediately, I looked up, my expression calm. "Chad, per your directive on September 14th, my team was dissolved. I am a single individual. Per your directive on October 2nd, I was to absorb all Tier 3 responsibilities solo. As a single individual, I was unable to complete all required pre-launch testing, security audits, and prepare emergency patches for this scale of failure within the resource constraints you explicitly approved." He scoffed, his face contorted in a sneer. "Don't give me that bureaucratic nonsense. You were supposed to handle this. You let this happen. This is your fault." I smiled. It wasn't a pleasant smile. "No, Chad, you let this happen, and I have the receipts." I leaned back, pulled out a flash drive, and calmly inserted it into my computer. The projector in my cubicle hummed to life, displaying a meticulously organized folder structure. Here, Chad, every email override, every Slack message forcing untested code, every time-stamped confirmation of my workload, every single waiver of security protocol signed off by you, every internal policy document you bypassed, the termination letters for my team, my 80-hour work week logs, all cross-referenced, all undeniable. He stared at the screen, his bravado crumbling. His eyes flickered across the file names. Chad override security, waiver 10.0, 22024 PDF. Email directive solo QA, 11.0, 12024 ml. Audio recording Chad instructions, 11.1, 520, 24 MP3. The blood drained from his face. What is this?" he stammered, his voice weak. Before he could say another word, my phone, the one he insisted I keep for direct communication, rang again. Not Chad's line this time. It was the CEO's office. I answered on speaker. "Alex, what is going on with Nexus Link? The board is in an emergency meeting. We have state attorneys general calling. Class action lawsuits are being filed as we speak. We need a full, immediate accounting of how this happened." I looked directly at Chad, whose face was now a mask of pure terror. "Sir," I said, my voice steady, "I have a comprehensive, time-stamped report detailing the specific management directives, resource reductions, and policy overrides that led directly to this catastrophic failure. The evidence points to a systematic disregard for established protocols and a deliberate understaffing of critical quality assurance functions, directly mandated by VP Chadwick Bronson. I have been compiling this report since my team was unilaterally dissolved, and I was made solely responsible for all Tier 3 operations. The phone line went silent for a moment. Then a clipped, furious voice, belonging to the head of legal, cut through. "Alex, send that report to me, the CEO, and HR immediately, and get Bronson to my office. Now." Chad's eyes were wide, fixed on me. He was trapped. The ice in my veins had never felt so good. The fallout was spectacular. Within an hour, Chad was escorted out of the building by security, his box of personal effects pathetically small. The internal memo confirming his departure arrived before lunch, citing gross negligence and dereliction of duty. Nexus Tech's stock plummeted, wiping billions off its market cap. The city council launched an inquiry into the massive security vulnerabilities, and federal regulators opened a full investigation. The class action lawsuits were consolidated, and the news coverage was brutal. Nexus Tech had to issue a full recall of every Nexus Link device, a public apology, and a multi-million-dollar fund to compensate affected customers. The entire product line was scrapped. I heard Chad's name mentioned in legal filings more than once. Update: 3 weeks later, Chad's LinkedIn profile is scrubbed clean, his name erased from all Nexus Tech internal directories. The company issued a quiet, internal email about reevaluating leadership structures and doubling down on quality assurance. My old team members, the ones Chad fired, are being contacted, some for senior advisory roles. The irony is palpable. Update: 2 months later, Nexus Tech paid out an astronomical sum in settlements, barely avoiding criminal charges. The company brought in an entirely new executive team. My old cubicle farm is being renovated, adding actual windows and even ergonomic chairs. I've been promoted to Director of Enterprise Quality and Process Integrity, essentially a corporate ombudsman with broad powers to veto reckless decisions. My first act was to reinstate all the policies Chad unilaterally bypassed, with mandatory executive sign-off and accountability for every override. Update: 6 months later, I heard through the grapevine that Chad tried to launch a crypto startup based on disrupting home ownership. It lasted less than a month before running out of seed money and disappearing. Last I saw, a job posting for a junior shift manager at a 24-hour convenience store downtown had his name attached to it. Not even a senior manager, just junior. Turns out, hustle culture only works when you have someone else to do the actual work and someone else to take the fall. Some people never learn.